This is only a mountain. You don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. Just a little bit of faith can change it all. It's only a mountain.
Hi ladies, welcome to Mocha Moments for Single Moms. We're glad you're with us today. We have a good friend, Laurie Morris. Hi Laurie.
Hi.
And Laurie is a longtime friend of the organization of many of our single moms here in Kansas City. She is a mother of 4.
Yep.
And you've been a single mom for how many years?
11.
11 years. And
Yeah.
Laurie also is the author of a book that's called Shattered and Then. Laurie, could you tell me just a little bit about your book and what it's about?
It is my journey, basically, although it includes a little bit of the story of my late husband, who passed 11 years ago. David was an incredible man of God, and however, he struggled with homosexuality due to childhood sexual abuse that was very severe, starting from the age of 3. And he also had a personality disorder called DID. And so it's my story of healing through our journey and all the things the Lord taught me. Well, not all, but a few.
Because he's still teaching you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
There's
yes.
a few highlights.
So now, Laurie, what is DID?
DID is dissociative identity disorder.
Okay.
It used to be called multiple personality disorder. A lot of people would be
okay.
familiar with that.
Uh-huh.
And then in the late 90s, the medical community changed the name. And I think some of it had to do with just recognizing that dissociation was a mechanism of the brain to deal with trauma. And all the people that suffer with it or that struggle with it have been severely traumatized. Dissociation is something that we all do. You and I can be going down the street and we're processing something while we're driving there, and that's mild dissociation. That's something we've all done.
Okay.
But if we have gotten a call at work saying there's a problem and we're in the middle of a business meeting and we have to pull ourselves together to finish that presentation before we can go deal with the crisis, that also is dissociation, or some people would refer to it as compartmentalization.
Okay.
And so it's on the rise due to the increasing trauma of society, sex trafficking, ongoing increasing sexual abuse, terrible accidents, all of the different, like the tsunamis and different disasters that happen. Even those kind of crises and trauma can cause what we would call splitting or dissociation at a severe level. And there's a scale associated with it. Do you mind if I share what that scale is?
No, because
Okay.
it's probably going to help me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I liken it for lay people that there is a grid or a scale of mild to severe,
Okay.
with severe being DID. All of us are on the mild end.
Okay.
And then we can compartmentalize and go to another level like I did in my journey, where I locked up the pain of my dad's death when he died. I was 12, and it was very sudden. He was not ill. And I locked down those emotions for 21 years.
Wow.
And that would be another level. Just locking
Okay.
it up in a box. I could talk about it, but I couldn't connect or feel with any of the emotion.
Okay.
And so the next level is kind of like when somebody has had more trauma as a child, possibly verbal or physical or sexual abuse. Sometimes they get stuck at a certain age, like where a lot of the trauma happened, and when they get into situations as an adult where they should be responding as an adult, they don't. They act like they're 10 or 8, and you're like, what is going on with them? Or they may be
Yeah.
thinking, what's going on with me? And that's kind of like a fractured separation where, arrested development, if you will. I think there's a TV show called that, but where you're kind of stuck at that age.
Okay.
And then the next would be where DID starts with 2 distinct personalities and separations on forward to as many parts as it took to cope.
What should we do? Because we're talking to a lot of women who have definitely gone through trauma.
I would say most people don't need to be concerned as long as you're willing to look at your pain. When we're not willing to look at our pain, there's no way for the Father to begin to help us heal or deal. And when we don't deal, that allows us to stay locked up. When we just pick ourselves up by our bootstraps and move on, that's a level of dissociation that I consider unhealthy. I think just being willing to partner with the Holy Spirit and say, help me at the right times to look at my pain instead of going, no, that's back there. Because all of our pain from childhood does affect us.
Yeah.
And not looking at it just prolongs the agony, basically.
So that's a good indicator. Are we
Yes.
willing to look at our pain?
Other ways would be an overreaction and over response to situations that are maybe a little confrontive or intense, and instead of being able to respond from our Christian adult perspective, we're like freaking out or overreacting.
Okay.
That's like a festering pain that's there. All of those would be symptoms. If your friends are saying to you, I never know what I'm getting, you're either angry or you're shut down, what's going on? Again, a sign. Anger is a symptom. Depression is a symptom, not just of dissociation, but of pain.
Yes.
And dissociation is the ability to not look at pain.
Okay.
So all of those things would be symptoms.
So if I am struggling, if some of the things that you've said today go, oh my, wow, where would I go? What would I do? Because you're here in Kansas City. We may have women in New Mexico that are watching. So where can we lead these women for help?
First of all, ask the Holy Spirit and check with your local church. There may be inner healing ministries. There are numerous kinds around the nation. Restoring the Foundation, Sozo Ministry, Theophostic Ministry. All of those are legitimate ministries of inner healing, and there's many more. And just Google it. Use Google if you don't have a local church. And see if there's someone, even in the secular community, or Christian community, there would be psychologists, licensed clinical therapists, pastoral counselors, that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Now, Laurie, I want to ask you real quick before we close down and give some information about how to contact you. Did your husband integrate? What's the end of the story?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Yes, he did. 4.5 years before he passed away, he had integrated. He'd been walking in wholeness sexually as well, and they were the best years of our life.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
So you had
really miraculous.
Yeah. So, ladies, you can get a hold of Laurie at
hismosaic.com or Laurie at His Mosaic, or I have a Facebook page called His Mosaic as well.
and you can order a book
Yes.
off of there. And this again is Laurie's testimony, Laurie's story of just sexual healing and integration. And so Laurie, thanks for being with us and just helping the women move into wholeness and restoration. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
God bless, ladies.
To continue following Mocha Moments or to sign up for our weekly updates, visit us at thesinglemomkc.org.